This is Hi, my name is Mom, a podcast about motherhood. Here are your hosts, Jen, Corri, and Kayla.
You guys, I'm so excited because one of my favorite people in the whole world is on FaceTime with us. Anybody listening or watching at Hi, my name is Mom official on socials, and then you can find all of our links from there. But inevitably, something ridiculous will happen that we cut out of the audio version that you can now see on the visual version. So, yeah. So anyway, come find us, come follow us. Today we're going to talk about gratitude because obviously it is Thanksgiving week this week. And we thought, we can talk about like recipes and all that stuff.
We could have talk about Black Friday deals.
Oh yeah, we did talk about
But that seems so pedestrian right now.
Well, everyone talks about Black Friday deals and shopping. And instead we're like, okay, well, let's talk about
Let's do the
being
opposite.
thankful. And the person who is on the phone with us today is someone that I'm very grateful for in my life for a ton of reasons. And we were having a conversation about a pretty potent reason why she was feeling grateful. So we just thought we'll get my dear friend Laura Ortiz on with us.
Well, I'm very happy and grateful to be here. This is like my first, I feel like this is like my first hangout with anybody in the past. It feels like it's been 2 years since I've hung out with anybody, but it's really been like a month maybe since it's been like about a year. I feel like since I moved to Florida, like I just haven't found my people yet. But the past month, I guess, I don't know if you, like, the ladies know or whatever, but like I live where we got hit with the hurricane. We like got a direct hit and our dream house and everything is fairly gone. But I guess we got into this conversation with Corri because I remember like talking about, you can have so many different emotions because right before it happened, and even like now I still feel like as it was happening, I was like, my God, like we got to get out. And like, I just hoped that if it was going to hit us, like that it would hit a house like mine that had people that were able to get out. And just so grateful because I knew that there's so many people that were left here and our house did get hit. So I just kind of like hope that maybe it like spared someone else who like couldn't get out.
Wow.
That's an incredible perspective.
Yeah, no, it comes and goes. I will say, it's definitely like I'm so glad, and I hope like for those who couldn't leave, I'm glad it didn't hit them. I'm glad it hit us, and also like, but why?
Yeah, and I think those things can coexist. Like you can actually be incredibly grateful that your family is safe, and you can also be really annoyed. They had just done, well, to backtrack a little bit, Laura and I know each other from LA. So we were on a TV show together called Holliston, and then I got to know her through basically, I knew her a little bit. We got really close shooting that show together and then continued to be close. And now our families are very close. So like we have, companies together and Airbnbs that we run together.
Yeah.
And then we're,
Oh, I didn't know they were your partners.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
that's cool. Now it all makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So Laura was one of my best friends from LA. And then she got married and has two beautiful little boys. And her family, she's from Colombia, but her family lives in Florida. And so, like, pandemic and babies, it was like made sense for them to get this house. And they just finished a renovation.
Oh, my God.
Just finished
Yeah,
a
and
renovation.
like when like water came in, we had no idea what to do. We were like, oh, water came in, but now it's out. Yeah, and they're like, well, now you have to dry it. And we're like, all right, how do you do that? And they're like, oh, we just tear it apart. Anything that didn't get wet, it just gets torn apart. Also, then it's just like bills from there on out, which, I'm grateful that we have insurance.
So my daughter told me to put my wee-wee away this week, so.
I love it.
Yeah, her daughter just, did her wee-wee. Keep that, you should keep that.
We were getting in the bathtub. This is funny. We were getting in the bathtub, and I, like, bent over. Like, I already had undressed. I bent over to help my daughter, like, get ready to get in the tub, and she saw my underwear, like, sitting next to me, and she goes, oh, she's 2.5. She said, oh, Mommy, grab your panties. Put your wee-wee away.
At least she knows not to have her wee-wee out.
Hey,
Yeah, I give her, and I was like, where did that, okay.
Well, we always use like the right words, and so my boys, it never fails that they choose Target to be like, Mom, I have an itch on my penis, and I'm like, great.
What do you call yours though? Because I struggle because society. Sorry, we really got off track.
Wow, we
but
did.
society calls it a vagina, but it is actually not. So
What is it then?
It's a
vulva?
vulva.
Oh, it's a
Right?
Okay.
So
So
what
what
do you teach?
is
Your
the
vagina
vagina?
is the
The
hole.
vagina is the tunnel.
Yeah. Well, so I've since a little
We've
girl,
taken
it's
only
always
3
been
sips of
called
wine
your
for the
wee-wee.
record.
Not even.
A wee wee?
Yeah,
A wee wee's a
wee-wee.
boy.
No, a
Or a
wee-wee's a
pee-pee.
girl too. I've always
No,
I've
wee
always
wee
grown
would be
up.
when you pee. Go pee. What is a wee
I've always grown up that it was both.
I guess that would make sense.
wee? You go
My
wee wee.
son,
Yes, you go
like
wee-wee.
Leo knows. Like when I had the baby, he would just tell people like, "Oh, this is my baby brother Julian. He came out of my mom's vagina."
Right. Well, he did.
That is
actually.
Yeah.
adorable.
In fact, come out of your vagina. But when we talk about peeing, it's not actually coming out of your vagina. That's what
It's coming out of your urethra when you pee. It's
That is very true.
You pee does not come out of your
it's
vulva.
very
only your
confusing.
vagina.
The whole thing is considered your vulva. All of that is considered your vulva, right? I would love anyone
Even-
who is an OBGYN to weigh in on this.
Even
I'm
like
pretty
the
sure.
lips.
But
the
you-
lips, the
but you
clitoris,
don't-
and yes,
But you
your
don't
urethra- I
pee
think
out of
it's
your
all-
vulva.
I think it's a catch-all categorical term, which you would think vagina is too, but
We've got
vagina
some
actually
research
is a
to
term.
do.
Anyway,
Bash always says, "Mom." He always sees me pop a squat, and he's like,
you have a phone?
Mom,
Look up what is a
What is-
vulva?
where does a girl pee out of, or something
She
like
pees out of the
urethra?
for sure.
Well, the Bash is always telling me, "Mommy,
Outer
what?"
part of the female genitalia, including the labia majora, labia minora, and
Go to
clitoris.
images.
Okay,
But not
so-
the urethra.
But the
Well, this really did take a turn. We're
Why-
talking
why did they
instead of
keep
talking
the
about gratitude,
arrow?
we're talking about what we call.
welcome to Hi, my name is Mom.
We're gonna have to look up words we're allowed to say and not say on YouTube. By the way, I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
She's looking at a picture of a vagina
Meet the
right
vulva.
now.
The actual shot. This is look at this. It says meet the vulva.
Is that the name
Okay.
of this episode now?
Meet the vulva. No.
Meet the vulva
Gratitude.
with Laura
Meet the
Ortiz.
vulva.
It looks like a person screaming
She
that has
paints,
curly
and
hair.
so
Look. Look, doesn't it look like there's a nose? You're going, oh, and there's the eyes, there's the hair.
What is happening?
It look like lady going, oh.
She's Italian.
You can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. You actually can't unsee it. Laura doesn't have wine, guys.
I'm so
And here we
sorry,
are
Laura.
subjecting her to this.
I'm sending her. Okay, Laura, I'm gonna now that I have your
Can you
number, I'm
text
gonna
her the
send
photo?
this. Okay,
Okay,
we're done.
okay.
Pull it
Gratitude,
together.
gratitude.
Gratitude.
God, gratitude.
Okay,
Gratitude.
I do want to talk to Laura about.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
what
whoa.
is the setup right now? You guys are all 4 in one room, right?
Yes, but my parents actually flew out today, so now I'm in my mom's room.
Oh, that's
I'll probably be
nice.
able
You can
to.
spread out a little bit.
So where
Yeah.
are you? Where are you right now? Like where are you guys when you evacuated? Where did you go to?
We went to Fort Lauderdale,
Okay.
and then we just kind of hotel hopped there for like 2 weeks. And then now we're at my mom and dad's now because they had, well, because it's free. And, but they also got like electricity and water before like anybody in our area.
Can I ask a strange question? Just
Sure.
as someone, I lived in Florida for 3.5 years. I was in a couple like minor hurricanes, but I never had to deal with this. Like, if you're evacuated and you have to be in a hotel for 2 weeks or you lose your home, do you, if you have insurance, does your insurance company pay for that? Is that how it works, or no? You're just out of luck.
We
TBD?
don't know. Like we literally like haven't heard from our insurance. Like we like have had to hire an attorney and like, but I'm sure at some point they'll pay, right? So as of right now, some people their insurance like put them up in hotels, and I know FEMA would have put us up in like a hotel, but it would have been like in the middle of nowhere, and it was just my son goes to school, and I'd rather be home like with my mom, right? So that's where we're at right now while we figure it out, like what's happening with our house. And my husband's going to LA next week to see if maybe we want to be back there. We'll just kind of in limbo. Sometimes it's like really exciting because you go to the house and you're like a blank canvas, and then you pretend like you're a designer, and then realize that like I'm terrible at designing stuff. So sometimes it's like it's got its moments.
Yeah.
Well, lucky for you, we have an interior designer right here.
She is. She really is. She really is an interior designer.
I'm like really into coastal homes right now because I have a Florida home that I'm like.
She's just finished. Like, it's not even
I need
done.
to do the bedrooms, but
It's gorgeous.
I'm getting there. Anyways, I'll help you with your house.
Yeah, any help? Right now it's just a blank canvas. I think we're
Ooh,
getting. I
that's
think we
so
got
fun.
drywall today, or they've started putting up the drywall,
Oh my
which
gosh.
is
That's
exciting.
so
But
fun.
like,
Well, that
there's
is-
like
I mean,
no
that-
floor.
What's the estimated, like, when do you think you're going to be back in the house? Any idea?
No idea, honestly, because every contractor is backed up.
So with this like scenario happening, I love that we're talking about gratitude and we have her on. It's what kind of perspective does this give you going into the holidays?
I mean, I'm really grateful in a way, like, I think it's really beautiful actually seeing how close my kids are with my parents. And we wouldn't have gotten this sort of relationship if we weren't living in here, because I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old that they're old enough to like know, right, like who their grandparents are, and it's just really nice seeing them. Like my 1-year-old will only go to sleep if like grandma, like Nona, is with him. Even like today I put him to sleep and he was like going to sleep finally, and he was going, Nona, Nona. I know. And like my 3-year-old and my dad, like they just have like this special connection, and like every morning like my mom or my dad will take the baby too, and I just like watch from the bedroom and like just watch all these little moments. That we lived in LA for like almost 20 years actually, and I didn't see my family every day, and so like for them to have this it's like really special.
Well, and when you live in a home with someone, you bond in a different way because you bond with people who are actually taking care of you. Mm-hmm. And so for the kids, I feel kind of like that was a silver lining for us during the pandemic lockdown, is that we had time with my mom and dad where they were living with us, and they would come, and help out in a way that really gave them that different kind of relationship.
Yeah.
What are the Thanksgiving plans this year?
So it'll be my brother, his wife, his 2 boys. My poor parents didn't get any granddaughters. Even though my dad is actually the one who's like, I keep on having dreams about a little girl. And I was like, not me. We are done.
That's what I thought. Right? I thought I was done.
But my brother just went to Cancun with his wife, so maybe, I don't know. And then I'll be making my Thanksgiving duck, because a couple years ago I made a duck because it was smaller than a turkey, and it looks really fancy and it impresses everyone, but it's super easy to make. So
that sounds like a hack that I need.
Yeah,
duck,
it's super
duck hack.
easy.
It really? Probably doesn't make everyone fall asleep afterwards either.
No.
No tryptophan.
We'll probably still have some kind of turkey, I'm sure.
Well, I hope you guys are able to at least get a timeline. When you have an idea of how long something's going to be, you can go like, okay, well, we have 6 more months.
Even if it's longer than that. It's like, if you know it's going to be 6 months, fine. If you know it's going to be 12 months, fine. If you have no idea and it winds up being 24 months, then you're like, what the hell? You just would make... So I'll tell you, speaking of gratitude, this is a little different for us. I took a job in coastal Virginia about six years ago. And we moved down to Smithfield, Virginia, which is this like picturesque little small town on the rivers. And it was amazing. And we lived in a rental home that looked like it could have been on the cover of Southern Living magazine. It was great. We wound up meeting some of our like lifelong best friends. Like they will be in our life forever. Great people. And it was wonderful to be there. But 6 months after we moved in, we were hit with a massive black mold infestation from a leak behind the refrigerator, and we had to leave, and we had to move 3,800 square feet of things out of a house that we had intended to be in for years and into another one. And man, the 30 days that we spent in a hotel were humbling, exhausting, horrifying, and also equally some of the best memories we probably ever have as a family, just because of like what we went through together. It's like when you're
pregnant with Evie, or this?
Oh no, this was long before Evie. Yeah, I had a miscarriage during that during that mold situation, which is probably a whole
that could have been contributing. For sure.
Also, Ava was diagnosed with lupus and latent tuberculosis right after it. It caused a whole host of issues in our lives. But regardless, we do also tend to focus on the gratitude of that time, because it is really easy to get lost in all the negative and all the dark and all of the despair and the stuff that you've lost. We had to put our dog in a kennel for 30 days. It was just awful. But I really have tried hard to refocus my entire way of looking at that time in our lives, because you can get lost in it,
Yeah, it's nuts because I feel like Thanksgiving has always been a really hard holiday for me. Yeah. And I'm going to like try to not cry like I was saying this. So we lost our first baby on Halloween. And that first thing, that losing the first one is just like awful. Like it's just there, because then you realize that there's a problem.
You
like,
realize you're vulnerable.
Yeah. And then we got pregnant shortly after. We were due on Halloween. And so then we lost another one. And then we got pregnant again with the third baby, and we lost that baby on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so Thanksgiving for us was always just such this like painful season.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I was pregnant with Loxley, we actually were at Thanksgiving at your house.
That's right.
And I don't know if you remember this. I had so much gratitude. When it got, like, we went around the table, and when it got to be my turn to say, what are you thankful for? I ugly cried boo-hooed. Like, so hard. Like, do you, I could
tears
not,
to my eyes.
I couldn't
so
even get it
emotional.
together. Because, like, you guys have both seen me cry. When I cry, I ugly cry, and I can't control
It
it.
becomes comical.
It's like, I
It is
hate
funny.
crying in front of people because it's like a really, like, I boo-hoo like a baby. I really
There's
do.
a difference between crying and boo-hooing.
Right. Well,
and
she
you do
physically
boo-hoo.
says the words boo.
But so, it's
I'm sorry, we're not
awful.
laughing at you.
You guys, this reminds me of a moment. This is completely off topic, but it's so funny. That made me think of like
boo-hooing?
Yes, but you physically saying boo-hoo. I was shooting a movie one time. It was a horror movie, and I had this scene with this guy who like the bad guy comes and grabs him, and he had this like scene where he had to like punch and stuff.
Oh, no.
Oh shit, Corri's lost it. She's lost it.
He couldn't stop saying like pow, punch, oof. Like it was like one of those
physically
comments.
saying the
And then he
words.
goes, I'm so sorry, I can't stop saying.
That's me when I cry. I literally say boo-hoo.
It's like a comic strip.
But no, like,
Lord.
that's funny. But like, no, with gratitude, like I feel like Thanksgiving has always been like a sacred.
Well, we started our own little tradition there for a few years where we would make like
We'd make
her
ribs.
husband would come over and make ribs, and because we're not even big like Thanksgiving
Yeah.
food people, so we'd be like, you know what, let's just have a hang and not
Let's
even
have a
make it
hang.
about this holiday.
Well, it was really hard for us to go home.
Yeah.
My sisters have a lot of kids, and it's just like,
Yeah.
it was just a reminder. And I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. I do just want to make ribs and mashed potatoes and not
Yeah.
have it in my face. And so I feel like we've always been there for each other,
Yeah.
you know, because none of us have family close. And so we've all like
That's
had
the
to.
same thing where you're like, it sucks that you've been through so much, and then you're still grateful for the,
Yeah.
it's just such a weird thing. Gratitude is such a weird thing.
Gratitude. Well, I think the important thing about gratitude is it can coexist with anything else that you're going through.
Oh,
Totally.
Sure.
Gratitude
and
can
usually does.
it can coexist with grief. It can coexist
Yeah.
with depression. It can coexist with happiness. Gratitude can literally coexist with any situation you're going through in your life. And I think
Yeah.
it's important to point that out because I think the holidays do bring out a lot of depression in people. I think they
Yeah.
bring out a lot of financial hardships and
Stress.
and like family drama because I mean, we've all said it before that fortunately, I think we have some really great families behind us, but a lot of times like families bring on depression because not everyone's family is like safe. A lot of families are toxic. And so I think being gratitude for having family, having gratitude for what you have is just like an important thing to reflect on because the holidays, they're great, but they do bring out a lot of stress.
Laura, do you guys have like a tradition of like, how families like go around the table and say everybody says something they're thankful for or something? Like, do you guys have those kind of holiday traditions?
It's probably like my mom just asking us, but her then like praying over everyone and not letting us finish anything. Like she'll tell us what we're grateful for and like thank
that's
Jesus
so
for
cute.
it.
That's adorable.
Where you could be like, oh, I'm really grateful. Then she'd be like, oh my God, I know, I remember. Like, so when, like, this was thank you, Jesus, thank you, Lord. And, like, she'll just finish our grateful stories with, like, a prayer.
That's so sweet.
That's
really
really
sweet.
we actually have talked about like, because, we've got like different views on everything, but we've talked a lot about how like prayer is gratitude too. It's like, or that's what it's meant to be, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
the things you're thankful for, the things that you are grateful for. And do you guys do like I mean,
not to
I
embarrass my mom, but like she has an
Yeah.
accent, so whenever she says Jesus Christ, which is a lot, it's like thank you, Cheez-Its Christ.
Cheez-Its. Oh my gosh.
My kids love Cheez-Its.
My now 9-year-old for probably 5 years thought that when he was saying amen at the end of a prayer that he was saying, oh man. And so he would end every prayer that way and we just didn't correct him. And finally someone at school, I don't know why I was saying a prayer at school because they go to public school, but he was like, I'm saying it the right way. They're like, no, you're not. Sorry. It's not
That's
all
like
man.
there was a national prayer and he goes, amen, and a woman. And I was like, you clearly have never prayed before. Amen. Oh my God. Because they were trying to be inclusive. And so he was like, amen, and a woman. And I was like, what just happened on national TV?
Well, I make my kids, like, if they get really whiny, I make them stop and say 3 things that they're grateful for.
On Thanksgiving or all the time?
All the time.
That's good.
And I actually find that it's a good reset for me if I get in a negative mindset to make a list of things I'm grateful for. And it is like an instant mood boost.
Yeah.
And my kids, so there was this one day that Radley was annoyed that he didn't get a kid's meal at Chick-fil-A because Ty realized that the kids weren't eating all of their kids' meals.
Yep.
They were just eating the nuggets. They weren't eating the fries. So
They
he
didn't
told
need
them,
the toy.
right. So he's like, we're just going to get the 12-piece nugget. We're going to split it up. No one's getting fries. So he just like laid down the hammer, right?
Yeah.
This is what's happening. So Rat couldn't let it go. He's in the car. I just wanted a kid's meal. I just wanted a kid's meal. I just wanted a kid's meal. He whined so much that finally we pulled in the driveway and I go, I am done. I can't hear this anymore. Stop and tell me 3 things you're grateful for. So Radley had to like sit and think, like, because usually he just does like a default. So he came up with 3 things he's grateful for. And then it's Bash's turn. And Bash is 3 at this point. I go, what about you, Bash? What are you grateful for? And he goes, I'm just grateful Radley stopped whining.
No.
You're 3, dude.
Oh my God.
And I just started cracking up. I
That
go,
is so perfect.
you
Oh
and
my
me both.
gosh.
But I do really think it's like when you can shift your perspective, and I always feel like the universe sort of like punches me in the face if I ever get too whiny with myself about things that I am annoyed about or whatever. And then I'll just like, something just slaps me in the face with perspective.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my own slap in the face when I feel like I'm getting into that headspace. Is like I really do think it's a wonderful thing to do, like for yourself. I have like little notes in my phone, and then it's also sort of a list of memories.
So
too, at the
during
same time.
COVID, we bought our kids when they were on virtual school. We bought our kids the 3-minute gratitude journals from Amazon. And it's like you start each thing with like 3 things you're grateful for, and then someone who makes you happy, and then like something that you're a picture of something, right? And they did them for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and it was really sweet. It was usually a lot of the same, you know, what they're grateful for, but every now and then there would be something that really like struck me.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm grateful for the guy who helps us with our sprinkler system. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. Anything that kind of incited that little bit of thought was important during that. It's important all the time, but it was really important then.
And y'all's kids are just getting old enough to even be able to like understand what that means, you know?
So my in-laws, I think this is something really cute that they do. They have this whole like agreement that every day at 9 p.m. their phone goes off. Like they each have a timer or an alarm on their phone, and they have to text each other something they're grateful for that day.
That is really cute.
Ooh, I love that idea.
And so like it can be because one time I'm like I sound like I totally snooped. But her phone was sitting there, and the timer went off.
The honesty.
And she had this alarm go off, and I just like looked at her alarm, and they were at our house, and they randomly both like helped out with something at the house. Yeah. And I saw this text come through, and I totally snooped and read it from my father-in-law, and it said, "I'm grateful that we have dogs," and it was, "I'm grateful for you picking up the dog poop outside," because she literally went.
That's legit though. It's like sometimes if it's day to day, it is the tiniest thing.
It was the tiniest thing, and
that's so cute.
And you know what it did to me? Because I saw him thanking her. Our DoorDash guy just got here. I saw him thanking her for something that she did at our house, like something like at their child's house that she helped out at, and it made me stop and pause. And I was like, and so I didn't tell her that I saw the text, but like 10 minutes
really
later, I was
cute.
like,
That is
hey,
really sweet.
thank you so much for like going outside and like picking up
It is
dog
a-
poop out of our yard.
It is a domino effect.
It totally
really
is. And I
is.
was like, oh, that's great. And so this is, oh gosh, I'm writing myself out.
I could only see
so-
John being like, I have to tell you something I'm thankful for at 9 every day.
I know.
That wouldn't happen.
Yeah. He'd be like, what?
That wouldn't happen.
Her husband, we call him Grumpy Cat. We
he
love
is
him.
grumpy.
But
He
it's
was
just-
Grumpy Cat for Halloween.
Well, yeah, but you
Yeah.
know what's funny is Kayla told me today, she's like, I'm the happiest person in the world, and my child is grumpy.
No,
She is your husband.
She
That's
is.
hilarious.
But no, and so like I went and I snooped on my father-in-law's phone because neither one of them have passwords. And I was like, well, what'd she text him? And like,
I love that you're talking about this. Now I'm dying to know. What'd you text him?
and he hung up a wreath. This was like last year around Christmas time. He hung up a wreath on our front door, and she's like, "Thank you for putting the nail or something, hang up the wreath." And I was like, "Oh, and I had already thanked them for help, but I was just like, that's really nice that they're like."
If my phone
Acknowledging-
wasn't recording the podcast right now, I legitimately would text Adrian something. You just rubbed off on me.
Yeah, and I was like, "That's really cute."
I love that.
Brad made a little tree, and he made leaves for people to write things on to stick on the little tree.
Oh,
and I want
that's
to put it
really
out at
cute.
Thanksgiving. It's really cute.
It's a good idea. We did
Yeah.
that at
Okay.
Thanksgiving last year. We made people write them on little pieces of paper.
Let's do
I'm
gratitude
gonna steal
check.
that.
Yeah,
right
let's
now.
do that right now. Like what we're grateful for.
Let's do gratitude. Laura, I'm gonna have you go first. Can I put you on the spot?
No, I'm actually really grateful to be here with you girls because this feels like normal and like real life. And then I was actually even just like looking at how pretty you all three look. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my makeup tomorrow, maybe.
Aw, sweet.
Do you know, I have to say that I've been chatting with this girl that we met at the St. Jude's, Juliana.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, you know, I really, like, she is an influencer, a content creator on Instagram, and she's a mom. And I was like, you know, I really love watching your, like, Target Tuesday finds. Like,
Yeah.
she, like, gets cute
She's
outfits from Target.
adorable. Yeah.
And I said, it's made me just want to put makeup on in the morning
Yeah.
to feel a little better about myself. And I was like, I love that. And so I, like, for me, because I never put makeup on, I always look like a hag at home. And I have
Okay,
Hag
you're
or
a
a supermodel.
Really cute hag.
I mean,
okay.
I'm the Duff. And I just recently been trying
She
to.
just, said,
you.
she just said, I'm the Duff under her breath.
We've
I'm
been really like
This is
on her
ridiculous.
about like the negative self-talk.
I'm trying to. I am trying to like. She said that we all look put together. I'm like, I am trying to feel
Embrace
better.
that.
Embrace, like, put myself
Yeah.
together.
Also,
more.
it's
Yeah.
90% lighting, Laura.
It's totally lighting.
That's all it is.
I have
Seriously.
the worst lighting right now.
I haven't washed my
You're-
hair since last Tuesday.
It looks great.
No lie. No, it does not.
It looks
It's
like-
full of dry shampoo. I'm
of
getting
dry
it done
shampoo.
tomorrow. So I'm
Okay,
not
so
washing.
you're appreciative for having a mom's night conversation.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
actually, when Laura and I talked, I mean, I can say that I am very grateful that I was, when I saw what was going on with this hurricane, we were actually having a production meeting. And I was texting Laura, like, hey, when are you going to be in Nashville? Come on the podcast. And at that point, I knew where she lived, but like we also had friends who were supposed to be getting married in Fort Myers. She's in Cape Coral. Like there's like these cities that were kind of on my radar, but I don't know that anyone realized how bad it was getting.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing the devastation, and I was sort of like texting her, and obviously I had seen that you evacuated.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they
I
evacuated.
mean, we didn't know either when we
Yeah.
were like, oh, it's kind of a fun getaway. Like,
yeah. Little vacay.
you know.
So
Yeah, we were just like, we just don't want the wind to be scary for the kids and whatever.
Yeah.
We'll leave. But
So I knew you had evacuated, and so it wasn't really on my mind. And then when I started seeing the footage, and then I looked at the map of where it hit, and like my heart sunk. And I was like trying not to harass you, but also being like, I just need to talk to her. Like, I just need to know.
Yeah.
I knew your life was okay, right? Like, but
You need to know that like her heart is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's
and like Corri's like the only person I've talked to, like, I feel like in the past month, like that, because I'm fine, but then also like I don't want to talk to a lot of people like sometimes, because even like I have some friends here that luckily like nothing really happened to them, and it sometimes like I don't know, sometimes it just feels like I don't want to talk to you right now. You're not going like
yeah.
because sometimes like they're asking nice things, but they'll be like, oh, let me see pictures or blah blah, and I'm like, no, I don't want to show you. It feels like
Yeah.
I'm in a car accident and they're just driving. And
I want to. I want to
to
see pictures. You have my number
Oh,
now.
I'll send you pictures
Send
like
me
this.
I'd love to see that.
Well, I actually feel like
And if you ever need help with design stuff, I will do a board for you and like
You
help
can literally
figure out what-
design the entire house.
I would love that. Just let me put it in my portfolio. I would love
But
that.
I think you have every right to do what feels good to you and
Yeah.
not do things that don't feel good to you right now. I feel like, but when I got a text from her before I got to speak to her and found out like everything that had happened, and I was like, calm down. I'm like, I'm gonna get in the car. I'm gonna drive down there. What do they need?
Yeah.
I just, and then I'm like, how can we get them here? How can we get them here? Like, let's just put them where, like, we have babysitters and we have, and really, like, I mean, I'm grateful that you're okay, obviously, but I'm also, our friendship, much like ours, has really just like, it started as something, and then you become friends, and then your families become friends, and then you become mom friends, and you have these like different levels of friendship. And I'm just grateful that like we've been on this journey together through like all of these crazy things and life things. And
we're like so grateful for you guys, and it feels like so like somebody could be like, oh, you can stay here for a while, but like you wouldn't feel comfortable. I would totally feel comfortable coming and living in your house. And I would love to be around like you and Ty and the kids, and it would just be amazing. And it feels so good to have heard from you, and you were like the only person I felt like comfortable talking to. And even like doing this today, I don't know that I would have done like a podcast for somebody else, but I was like, well, it's Corri. I can like, and it helps me. It's good for me. And, no, I like really love it. And I love you and your family and your friends. I knew they'd be just like you. And I mean, I used to listen to the podcast all the time, but then I had a second child, and,
then it becomes difficult to do anything.
That's true.
yeah.
Oh, I love you.
So, Kayla, what are you grateful for?
Oh, I seem ungrateful, like sitting here. Like
You don't.
You can be totally honest.
I'm grateful. I'm going to sound cheesy. I'm grateful knowing that my life matters and is part of a bigger plan. Because I'm in such a place right now where I'm not content with a lot of things, but I know God has me, and I know like the bigger picture is so cool, and I'm grateful to be a part of that bigger picture.
I love hearing you speak like that.
Yeah.
And like obviously I'm grateful for like you guys and the kids. Like but like
Yeah.
Yeah. But like just like in like the realm of things, like
Yeah, I know what
I'm
you're
just
saying.
I'm just at such I'm just not content with so many things in my life right now.
Yeah.
But I am content knowing that my story matters, and like God has me, and I'm grateful for whatever my story is. I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Whatever the
Well, I would
outcome
never
is.
wish anything that you've gone through on you. And I also know simultaneously the number of women you have touched by being so
Aw.
open about your story. And I know that's not easy. Like, I see how cathartic it can be, but also, the interesting thing and the kind of crappy thing is that it's cathartic for you and you share. But sometimes the sort of like, I don't know what to call it, like the reaction of people reaching out to you can sometimes
I get
just
a
make
lot of it. And
Yeah.
I will say, like, I'm at a point now where I don't share for myself anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, I get that.
I think season
Yeah.
1, I shared for myself.
right.
And maybe a few episodes here and there. But now I'm at a point where I share because I see the impact that sharing has.
Right.
And it's not about me. And so I think that's like, so it does get taxing. But I think, yeah, in just the grand scheme of things, I'm just grateful. I know my intentions are good in life. I know that I love people. I know that my heart is in the right place and it's set. And so that can only lead to a very happy, big story. And I'm just happy whatever that story is.
Yeah.
I love that.
What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for the feather skirt I bought on Amazon this week.
I love you. I love that you just said that.
I'm also grateful that I didn't have to go in and have an ovary removed for no reason. So there's a lot of layers to this.
So
But
let's buy a feather skirt.
I bought a feather skirt
You bought
and
that
a
skirt.
turtleneck bodysuit and opaque tights and booties, and it looks absolutely freaking stellar. That's it. That's all.
Are you gonna wear
You know what's
this?
Yeah. No,
Can
not
I
this
tell you
weekend.
something I'm grateful for too?
What? Can you wear it to the podcast? Can we just wear it? Like, can we just grab an outfit in our closet that we would love to wear? Wear your little black dress. Wear your feathers.
Can we wait
Dolce
until the layers and layers of food inside of my
Yes,
stomach?
but I'm saying, can we just like show up in outfits that we love?
You do know also, because I know you never pay attention to our production calendar, you do know we're wearing our wedding gowns.
Yeah.
Is that next? No, that's not next
It's
week.
in like 2 weeks.
I don't know. We'll have to look.
We'll look.
But I love that. I love the inner confidence that should have already
Your hair is
that
It's
matches.
sticky, it's awful.
Here's how I'll say it. I love the inner confidence that matches.
yes,
the
finally,
outfit.
finally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I appreciate
I mean,
that.
I could go on. Like the list, you guys are always. If you saw the list of like things I'm grateful for, it is those tiny things.
Yeah.
It is those like picking up the dog crap or whatever. But it's like our version of that, just the little things on a day-to-day basis. And I actually think that that's a great, like, for anybody who's feel like they're in a funk, I think it's a great thing to just go like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to, I don't care if it's like I'm breathing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I say I'm
Like-
grateful that I'm in a relationship, because I've seen some of like the horror stories like posted on social medias like of the dating scene now, and I'm just so glad that I never had to date in the internet dating world.
I'm grateful for that too.
Okay, what are you grateful for though? Like, what's your big
Well, she
gratitude?
did a good
Well,
one.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Obviously, like, God, so much. But the other thing I think just in day-to-day life that I'm very grateful for is watching the relationship my kids have with each other. We are really trying to drive home the
Ooh,
point that
that's
your
good.
siblings are,
Matter.
that
Best
like
friends.
they're your best friends, and so we're really like watching Radley start to take on this role as a big brother, and reading to Bash and taking Teddy down the slide, and then seeing Bash like pick out outfits for Teddy and brush her hair, and then it's like this cycle, and then Teddy, before she takes a nap or goes to bed, like she's like she needs kisses, and she chooses who's gonna be, and she's like Radley, Bash, mommy, and just it's really just like it's like really
I'm gonna say
it's
this.
beautiful.
I spent
Can I just say I was gonna say my nephew used to do that too, but like with pooping. Like he would choose who got to take him poop.
That is so funny.
It was always like very special, and it was a secret. And he would tell you.
And so was it like it was like you were the winner?
You were the
if you were
chosen
the one that
one.
got to go.
Yeah, I mean, like the way he did it was like very sweet, or it was just like you take me poop. Can you clean my butt? Like, can you clean my butt?
And you're like, obviously, yes.
I will say, you guys, I have spent years and years and years of my life with all the ladies from Real Housewives of New Jersey, and the one that has really, many of them made impacts on my life, but Caroline Manzo taught me that the greatest gift you can give your children is to raise them to be each other's best friends.
Yeah.
And she is 1,000% right. It is something that will never, ever, ever leave them if you instill that in them. And I just really...
Can I say too that I want you to know that like
That's
talking
hard
about
hearing.
that
I know it's hard.
it makes me
I
want
know
to
it's
cry.
hard.
Like
I know it's hard.
I know, I was, like, trying to hold it together.
Your daughter has all of these other little friends that are her circle.
Yeah,
and you're
I
gonna
just
have
like...
I know.
I say this knowing one way
I
or another.
hate that it still
I
gets
know.
me.
I know.
I was like trying to listen
I
to
know,
it.
I know.
I wanted to be honest about like what's on my heart, but like also like what I know that like makes you feel.
Don't make me boo-hoo.
Don't boo
Do not
please.
boo-hoo. You were
Like,
allowed
I
to.
don't want to see the boo-hoo.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just want to hear it.
But I would never want you to think that like verbalizing that doesn't make us aware of like what Kayla has been on a journey to give her daughter a sibling, and it has not been an easy one.
No,
And
my
it's-
husband's an asshole, and he's an only child, and I cannot have. And she's already on the path to being one.
not.
No, she is not. No, she is not.
I'm kidding. She's
But,
do you want my-
just so
do
you
you
know,
want my tissue?
it's never something that we're not aware of.
No.
And
no, but you guys never feel like you have to guard yourself from
I know,
saying
but we
things
can
either.
also acknowledge that it's,
It's
like
hard.
that it's
she needs a best friend.
Yeah.
She needs someone to be like, yeah, mom's being crazy. I know.
Yeah.
Like
That can also exist in a cousin relationship. It can exist in a true like lifelong best friend
Teddy is
relationship.
literally her mini. Like,
She is.
Teddy is her daughter's mini. It's the funniest thing.
It is. But
ever.
you know, like, and you, I've had this conversation because you're like right down the road, but like, John and I have recently like embraced your kids as like family.
Yeah.
And we've just made it a point, like,
They've picked them up multiple times.
even just after going to Florida and just kind of bonding with you guys and all your kids, and just it's just easier because they're right down the road. Yeah. Being like, we don't have
Why do you
cousins
keep leaving
close.
me out?
I know, right?
Why are my kids?
Loxley
your
doesn't
kids?
have siblings, and we don't have cousins close, and so like there'll be times where we're like, let's go see what the Culp kids are doing.
Yeah, it's
like,
like they took him to get ice cream one day, and then
That's
they
what
took him to the
chosen family's
pumpkin
about.
thing one
yeah.
day. Yep,
Well, the
it
one
is.
time I went back, I took your kids to get ice cream, and then I went back and I hung out at your house for like 2 hours, and you're like, can you make them clean? I'm like, done. And so I literally made her kids clean her house.
That's amazing.
And I told them, I said, all right, I'm gonna set a 30-minute timer or a 10-minute timer, and we're gonna clean as much as we can. But the trick is, if anyone stops cleaning, the timer gets reset. And we had to reset the timer for 3 times.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
they yelled at each other to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was great because if anyone stopped, then the timer would get reset. And so they all just like, no, Mason, stop. Anyways, it was great.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Can I tell you guys that we were talking about this being a Friday, like why I whine?
No, I think it's a main episode.
Tuesday.
I think
such
this
a
is our main
Tuesday.
episode of Thanksgiving week, and then we'll figure out another one for Friday.
Yeah, we can whine about something else. Like this is like, I'm so glad. Like, I
I'm
mean,
glad you're safe.
I haven't gotten to hang out with you in how long, Laura?
I know.
Come to
I
Nashville.
know.
Like, come hang out with all of us.
I actually saw
I want
Adrian.
to.
So
We're
her
trying-
husband's name is Adrian too.
Oh, random.
Yeah, we always are like, which Adrian?
I need to grab the food off the door.
Can I just say, I don't know if like this matters or helps in any way, but like, and I don't know how to like word it, but just like when you talk about like chosen families and stuff, like I was gonna kind of mention this earlier, but I was like, no.
You have a good uterus?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Did I make it weird? I'm
Wait, what did she say? I didn't hear you.
She said you have a good uterus. She's on the hunt for a surrogate.
sorry. Did I make it weird?
I don't know. So,
Carry on.
No, I was just, like, I feel like Corri is like my chosen family, and the fact that you just feel like what family feels like to me, and it's so special, and like Ty, and it just feel like extended family. Like, I feel like your kids would be like, are like my kids' cousins that they just haven't met yet, and I know you want to give like your daughter like a sibling, but unfortunately, like, I do have a sibling, and we don't have that relationship at all, and he lives close to me, and I don't know that he cares that, like, things that have happened to my house, he hasn't really like asked, or it was just kind of like a like a person who goes, nah, sorry. Anyway, so even if I hope and I wish that you can give her that, but if you don't, like, she'll still have that with other friends and stuff. And like I said, like, I have a brother and I don't have that. It doesn't guarantee anything. And I don't know if that like helps or makes things worse, but I just wanted to like
No, I
mention
think
it
I think
because-
all opinions help. Like, it's just sharing experiences and hearing different perspectives. When it's coming from a place of goodness, it's always a good, helpful thing.
And that really is true. I mean, I grew up with someone who was like a brother to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I never see him now, but I always wanted a big brother, and I grew up with someone who was like a big brother to me, and it was just the same relationship. And you can also have the opposite, where you're like, I know quite a few people who don't get along with their siblings at all.
Yeah.
We can do our best to do that. That doesn't, like, I think that's a great point, Laura, that it doesn't
it
guarantee anything.
Yeah.
But what you can guarantee is that you're intentional about the people you surround Loxley with.
Yes, 100%.
And she has tons of cousins. She has all of us. And that will only grow as she's able to be intentional about her choices about who she's spending time with.
Absolutely.
So it really is true that it's not an end all be all. And there are also a lot of kids who are only kids, and like, people who are only children, and like that's not to do them a disservice. Like they're
all assholes. No, I'm kidding. I know.
Oh my gosh. I have a couple mom friends in LA who all have one boy. And for them, but on the mom side of things, they're like, this is so amazing. Like, we can, and when we just had one, like, we took Radley to do all kinds of things. We traveled with him.
Yeah.
We just he was like our little sidekick, and it really was special.
I will say that John and I just had this conversation recently that, you know, Loxley was all kids are so special, but she was just like the whole journey, I was just so grateful for my pregnancy. Like the whole time I was just like very sick, but like you would not catch me complaining about it. And it is so special, like that we've got to travel a lot with her.
Yeah.
And having these years with her has been really beautiful.
Yeah.
Like without being sick and being pregnant and then just like pacifying her with something else while I'm like pregnant with another kid. But
It's its own perspective thing.
it's a different perspective.
It's priceless in its own right. And so that's the thing. I think it's so like I love
We
that you
all
pointed that out because it really is true that
Yeah.
it's like that's a different perspective, right? Like I'm best friends with my sister.
As long as someone doesn't
that-
say to me, well, at least you can have kids.
right? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing can take away from your feelings, right? And sometimes people
Or
do.
or
Some
it's
people
like
diminish
it'd
your
be the same
feelings.
thing as like with your house. Like you can be grateful that you're here and still be bummed that your house has like all this stuff. I think sometimes
Yeah.
just delivery matters.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we'll do a mom hang, possibly a Thanksgiving hang.
That would be fun. I'm in.
Let us know. Thank you so much for talking to us today,
thanks for
Laura.
joining
Thank you.
us.
No, thank you for having me.
Come visit.
The
I love
gratitude
you.
of the vulva. It was a great episode.
I should send that picture. Do you see a
No,
screaming
it's
lady
literally
or
like the name of the
anatomy?
episode. Gratitude. What is a vulva? With Laura Ortiz.
Okay, I love it.
Can you even imagine?
I
like,
can't. Inappropriate.
I don't know what's happening over
Inappropriate.
here, Laura. But
That'll just be your profile picture that will come up whenever, if you ever text me, call me.
That's
please put that. It's just gonna be. Okay, follow Laura and then follow us and all the things. And if you want to drop a comment, well, this
It
is
will,
just
though. That's the problem.
we've lost them, Laura.
lost them.
Sorry. Start over.
We've lost them.
I'm sending them that.
Kayla, do you want to tell
I do.
everyone what we're gonna do for our it's like gratitude for comments? What are we doing?
Gratitude for comments.
Yeah,
She's like, I gotta think. This
Oh, we're gonna buy you coffee.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
No, I know that.
drop
Okay.
a comment on YouTube.
Buy you coffee. Heck,
Yeah.
maybe I'll even buy you a meal. Like
never know.
You never know.
Kayla is very generous.
I tend to be.
And she runs the Hi, my name is Mom Money's.
Money and social.
Money and social. So drop a comment. I'm gonna
Every week we're gonna choose one person. who
Maybe
drops
I'll
a
buy your
comment.
groceries.
You never know what's gonna happen.
never
so drop
know.
a comment. Somebody's gonna be chosen every week, and we're gonna send you a little something something.
Yes.
So let us know what you're grateful for this week, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Bye.
Mwah!
Safe travels.